Hey, what do you say? Let's talk about planning part 2. Yesterday we went over the first half of the planner, which is your important information, calendar, and lesson plans. So tonight let's talk about the roster, the how-to section, and your notes and how to best utilize it. First of all, you may or may not have this section. I'm old enough that I had to do this back in the day when I first started teaching, and so I still utilize it. I use the roster section to take attendance and keep up with grades. Here's why, here's how. I do this because I struggle with taking attendance. So if any of you have any tips and tricks on how to remember to take attendance on a regular basis, I would love for you to let me know. I've tried timers, I do a bell ringer, but I get involved with the kids and we start talking about things that are going on, and it just tends to slip my mind. So that is definitely a weakness that I hope that maybe we can all share how we do those things. The real other reason that I use this is to do grades. When I'm grading papers, I like to be able to just put them in the grade book, and then in the hard copy grade book, and then it makes putting it in the computer super easy. The good thing about making it myself is I was able to get the boxes a decent size where I can put the attendance and the grade in the box at the same time, and it's split into the first 3 6 weeks is on the left, and 3 6 weeks, the three weeks, and then your grading report, and then the last 3 weeks of the 6 weeks on the right side. And then I like the fact that even though the boxes are large enough, I still have a section over here that I can make notes about whatever was going on during the 6 weeks, like a kid who might have missed a bunch, whether or not I marked them absent, made contact with parents, kids that are having struggles with grades, or that I've posted grades so kids can check their grades, and then just other notes. So I think having this section is still a key component of a teacher in making good grounds with your students. Okay, the next section is by far the part that I use the most, and it's my to-do section. But before we talk about the to-do section and the different sections or the different layouts we have for to-dos, I'm going to show you what I was using before I had a planner, because I still use it. I get a handy dandy little notebook like this, Stino pads. The reason why is because I like how it's got the line down the middle. And so I would put at home at the top on one side and at work on the other. And then I just brain dump everything that I feel like I need to get done for the week. This is usually an ongoing list. I might brain dump a whole bunch over the weekend, but then as things come about, I'll add it to the list. The one thing that I do is once the page is full, I say that's it for the week, and I don't try to fill it any more than that. I still tend to use this, and then I will take this and categorize it into the days of the week based on whatever I have planned for the week, so that I don't overdo it on days. So this is still a pretty handy piece to have. So when I was designing the planners, which this is probably the one reason why I started designing planners for myself to begin with, is to make sure that I had it in a format that was most useful to me. And so I played around until I got what I feel like is going to be the best fit. So without further ado, this is the layout that I'm going to use this semester. It is very similar to the notebook that I just showed you, in the sense that it's got a column for personal at home, and then business, which would be in my classroom. But before we talk about what I've got written down and how I use this, let me show you a couple of the other layouts that I had designed that might be a little bit more suiting for you. This one would be basically your brain dump on the left. The reason why I'm not too crazy about this is I feel like I didn't give enough boxes, and maybe that's just me trying to fit too much in at one time. But I think I could have not made them so large, and probably could have put a little bit more here, and then I would have liked this a little bit better. And then on the right side is just a week at a glance. The cool thing about having this layout is that you have all your to-dos and you can see what's going on for the week. So you can put, Sunday dinner with mom, FFA meeting Tuesday, prepping for a show Thursday, headed out of town, whatever. And you can kind of see it all together. Excuse me. The other layout that we designed is pretty similar. Again, you have a brain dump side on the left. It's kind of grouped a little bit, so you could still do a personal on one side and a business on the other, or you could break it up however you wanted, because there's technically 6 little sections there. On the right side, for those of you who purchased a planner from me, if you have this layout, I didn't tell y'all, but this size square is the same size square as the small sticky notes, and so you could be extra and you could write on sticky notes and then paste it in the boxes. The cool part of that would be the fact that if you had an appointment on Tuesday and it got moved to Thursday, you could just take the sticky note off and replace it and move things around. Definitely if you're a person who prefers to write in pen. The other thing about this is you could break this up several different ways. You could do to-dos or things going on at home, and then work, and then you could do like personal, workouts or personal growth, whatever you might want to do. Okay, so there's some different layouts for you. Now let's talk about the guts of the to-do section. I've really been focusing on being a little bit more goal-oriented, in a sense that I'm not necessarily keeping up with how long it takes me to get there. When I tend to put a deadline on it, I don't feel as so successful. So I'm trying to just be very detail-oriented about the goal and not focusing so much on how long it's taken me, because I tend to figure out if it's due on Friday, I just say I'm not far enough along and then I give up. So that is something that I'm working on. So right now I have goals: a personal goal, a work goal, and a business goal. So by the end of the week, I'm hoping to work on this, but I'm going to give myself grace if I don't, and then I'll move it into the next week. So you can kind of work that however you would like. Then on each day of the week, I've got certain things that are non-negotiable, and I went ahead and printed it in my to-do section here. Now I'm going to go through the different things that I do on the different days, and I could not recommend this more for you to do, because it kind of keeps you on track each week and you kind of get in a habit of things. It helps you dodge the lines of the copy machine. You're not tending to do the things that people do when they procrastinate, so you don't get in those predicaments. So for me on Sundays, non-negotiables is that I come in and I fill in my planner. Meal prep, usually to make sure that we have dinner plans based around whatever's going on for the week. And then I make sure that all my laundry is done by Sunday. We usually start it on Friday when we get home, and then most of the time we get it done by Saturday, but by Sunday it's all done and put away. And then at the bottom I have 3 other things that I try to get done by the end of the day. Usually the workout and reflections done in the morning, and then I just like to mark and keep up with how much water I've had for the day. The way I do water is I have a thermos that is a 20-ounce thermos, and I know I need to drink it. I need to have 4 full containers, so once I have 4 full containers, then I mark my water as done. And then if I do my workout for the morning, just kind of helps keep me accountable for taking care of myself. On Mondays, I don't have anything for personal that is required other than my workout and water. But at school on Mondays, during my conference period, I will complete lessons for the following week. I already have YAGs made, year at a glance, for all of my classes, so that kind of keeps me on pace. So I'll know what unit I'm on for the week, and then I just go ahead and create the lesson plans if they're not made, and start prepping for the following week. On Tuesday, again, nothing set in stone personal other than workout and water. And on Tuesday, I'm pulling materials for the following week. So I've already got my lesson plan built. And so now we are pulling the materials, worksheets, manipulatives, those kinds of things. And we're going to set it in a particular area in the classroom to make sure it's ready to go for the next week. Then we move up here to a Wednesday, and on Wednesday we go make copies of anything that we might need, and I take care of anything that's needed for the department as far as any travel paperwork, budgets, making sure we're good to go on meetings, things like that. On Thursday, I input grades. That was one thing in that book that I'm reading, Come See Me After Class, is don't neglect this. Pick a day during the week or weekend, whenever you want to do grades, and say, that's it. That's when I'm going to grade, and put them in so that you don't have kids and parents hollering at you that you don't have grades done. So Thursday is my grading day. Then on Friday, I clean my board and I finish any incomplete work, and then I just make sure that everything's ready to go for the next week. So during the weekend, I can relax and enjoy life, and I'm not worried about work. So I would highly recommend that you figure out some of the things that you know you need to get done during the week, and you just go ahead and pencil them in and then just mark them off. And give yourself grace if you don't get it done. Until you make it a habit. It's okay. You're not going to be perfect. No one's perfect. I don't always get it done. I just try to give myself some kind of guidance. I found this idea on Pinterest, and I'll see if I can find the article for you to read, because it's a pretty good article, and they give some other suggestions of things that they do during the week. So this is my favorite part of the planner, is the to-do section. I'm going to try to hurry up so our video is not too long. So our next section is the notes. Self-explanatory, put things in here that are of importance, if you're in a meeting, those kinds of things. But something that I'm going to try differently this year is things that's going on, like for instance, on the very first page, we've got leadership camp for our officer team coming up next week, and I took the itinerary and I went ahead and printed it, and I taped it with washi tape onto the very first page of my actual planner. And so now I can see the itinerary, what's going to be going on, and then I can make notes about the event on the page here, and that will help me not lose it, and I can refer back to it for next year's leadership camp so that we can improve it. And then I just fold it in half so that when I close my planner, dun, da, 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 it stays nice and neat and tucked away. And that's a wrap. I hope that these tips and tricks kind of help you. I'll put that link below on the article about the to-do section. If you haven't ordered a planner and you still want one, there's most definitely enough time to get it done. Let's try to take care of that and get you in an organized situation. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks.